Hi, I'm Chef Philip Dell, and I'm here to teach the next generation of chefs how to eat and cook healthier and incorporate these ways into their menus for people to enjoy all over the world. Back in the day, I used to eat this kind of stuff. But then one day I decided to eat this. And by eating this, I went from looking like this to looking like this. And I feel so much better doing it. The Teens Cook with Heart program was developed to help young teen chefs incorporate healthier versions of their meals into their menus. We'll be looking deeper into a few categories: proper fats, sodium, sugar, portion control, grains, and so much more. There's a few things that we need to discuss before we get started. We need to look at the nutrients of food, how to properly read a label, and then different healthier ways of cooking. Let's first look at nutrients. There are many different nutrients in foods that we eat or drink. Some are good for our bodies and some aren't. Some help us grow, some help us work, while others increase our risk of heart disease, stroke, and other health issues. Let's first look at calcium. Calcium is found in many foods we eat or drink to help our bodies build strong bones. Where can we find calcium? We generally find calcium in things like fat-free or low-fat milk, dairy products, dark leafy greens like collard greens, kale, mustard greens, spinach, and turnip greens. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are found in almost every food we eat. Carbohydrates include sugar, starches, and fibers. They help our bodies have energy for all the activities we do. For example, carbohydrates found in whole grain breads and pastas, oatmeal, beans, and fruit keep our bodies energized for a long time. Cookies and sodas may have a lot of carbohydrates, but those carbs may be mostly made of added sugars, which can make your body feel tired again after a short amount of time. These sugars have no nutritional value other than to provide calories. Fats. Fats give your body energy and support cell growth. They also help your body absorb some nutrients and provide important hormones. There are 4 types of fats found in foods we eat: monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, saturated fats, and trans fat. Monounsaturated fats are better fats because they help reduce bad cholesterol levels in your blood and lower your risk of heart disease and stroke. They are typically found in plant-based liquid oils such as canola oil, olive oil, peanut oil, sesame oil, and sunflower oil, avocados, peanut butter, and many nuts and seeds. Polyunsaturated fats are also better fats because they help reduce bad cholesterol levels in your blood. They can be found in fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, herring, and trout, and also many nuts and seeds. Oils such as corn oil, safflower oil, and soybean oil. Saturated fats are the bad fats because they can increase your level of bad cholesterol and decrease the level of good cholesterol in your blood and increase your risk of heart disease and stroke. Most saturated fats come from animal sources such as meat, dairy, and tropical oils such as palm and coconut oils. Then we have the dusty, dirty trans fat. Trans fat are bad fats. These are the worst of them all. What do we find these in? Pie crust, pizza dough, biscuits, cookies, crackers, but they're also in stick margarines and shortenings and any food made with partially hydrogenated oil. Put more fiber in your diet. That's what everyone's always telling everybody, especially the doctors. Fiber is found in plant-based foods. It helps our bodies digest food and absorb other nutrients, as well as get rid of waste and cholesterol. When we don't have enough fiber, our bodies struggle to get rid of all the waste. Some good choices for fiber are fruits and vegetables, beans, whole grains, and oatmeal. Potassium. Potassium is needed for our body's growth and maintenance. It helps your body keep the right amount of water in your cells and other parts of the body. Common sources of potassium are bananas, broccoli, kiwi fruit, potatoes, and especially sweet potatoes. Protein. Now, who doesn't like to eat a lot of protein? Protein helps your body build strong muscles. Without enough protein, our muscles begin to break down and get weak. Some food choices for protein are beans, nuts, fish, and poultry without skin. And vegetarians also incorporate quinoa. It is nature's only complete protein that is grown in the ground. Sodium. Sodium is an essential nutrient, but our bodies need very little of it. Most Americans eat too much sodium, which increases our risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and other health problems. Sodium and salt help preserve foods, but the processed packaged and restaurant foods we buy often have much more than our bodies need. Unfortunately, you're going to find a lot of sodium in cured meats, pizza, poultry, canned soups, and sodium. Sugars. Sugar in food can be naturally occurring or added. Naturally occurring sugars are found in foods such as fruit, in the form of fructose, and milk, in the form of lactose. Added sugars include any caloric sweetener not naturally found in a food that is added during processing or preparation. Some common types of added sugars are brown sugar, corn sweeteners, dextrose, fructose, fruit juice concentrate, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, honey, invert sugars, lactose, and the list goes on and on. Sugars is one of those mystery ingredients that you find in a label but don't really know that it's sugar. And that's the breakdown of nutrients. Let's look on how to read a nutritional label and what everything means on a nutritional label. When you get a can or you get a box, look at the back. There's a nutritional label. The first thing we want to do is we want to look at the top. The top has the serving size. It has it both in a volume measure as well as a metric level. It also shows how many servings are per container. Most people think, oh, there's a can of something, that means there's one serving. But that's not the case. When you're looking at the nutritional facts, they determine what quantity of everything you're getting per serving. The next thing you look for is calories and the amount of calories that are per serving. You can also notice that there's calories from fat. How many of those calories actually come from fat? There's 9 calories per gram of fat. The next thing is total fat. Saturated fats, trans fats. It breaks it all down into what might be in that container. The next item on the list is cholesterol, then sodium, then total carbohydrate, and protein. To the right of those amounts are the daily values. Next to fat, you might see a percentage of maybe 12%. That means that the body is getting 12% of the total daily value based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Between saturated fat, cholesterol, and sodium, we want to make sure that we limit those ingredients in our diets. We want to keep those at the lowest percentage possible. At the bottom of the label, you'll also notice things like vitamin A, maybe vitamin C, calcium, iron. It might contain potassium or other nutrients. And again, it'll tell you the percentage of daily value per 2,000 calorie diet. So we want to make sure that we get enough beneficial nutrients such as dietary fiber, protein, calcium, iron, vitamins, and other nutrients you need every day. These items will help your body process properly, give you enough energy, and give you enough stamina to get through the day. So the next thing we're going to look at are different ways of cooking. Should we grill it? Should we fry it? Should we steam it? Should we poach it? What exactly should we do so that we can make our dishes healthy and tasty? If it's deep fried, you're getting all those saturated fats that you're not looking for. If you saute something, it's hot and fast, you don't have to use as much liquids. If it's grilled, it's directly over a flame. Poaching and boiling and things like that all incorporate cooking methods without any extra added fats. Basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make things taste just as good without adding extra items to them. That's enough of this boring stuff. Let's get cooking! We're gonna make a Persian salad today, and in order to make that Persian salad, we need to have our mise en place. We need to have a stainless steel bowl. We need to have a spoon to stir it with. We need to have a cutting board. We need to have something to keep that cutting board from moving, so like a non-stick pad. Of course, we need to have a French knife. We need to have a whisk, a presentation plate. And in order to make that Persian salad, we need to have awesome ingredients such as fat-free and low-fat feta cheese, mint, cilantro or parsley, black pepper, cucumbers, limes, tomatoes, red onion, and olive oil. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our vinaigrette. Instead of vinegar, we're going to use lime today. Lime is really good. It adds alkaline to your body, which will help keep your body non-acidic. The more acidity you have in your body, the more your body breaks down. Olive oil, we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil to the bowl, and we're going to whisk that in at the same time. Remember, we're trying to create an emulsion. And basically, we're just looking for something to add some brightness, you know, and this is a good opportunity to talk about flavors. You know, every time you add something, make sure you're adding flavor to it. Olive oils tend to have their own flavor that they tend to part. You might want to add a little bit of black pepper to it. We don't want to add any salt, and the reason why we're not adding any salt is because that will, of course, add sodium to the recipe, and we're not trying to do that. There's plenty of sodium in the ingredients that we have listed here. Now the next thing to do is to cut up all of our vegetables. All right, so we're going to cut up this hothouse cucumber. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting these up, and we're just going to dice them up just like you would a regular dice. They don't, we can kind of rough chop them if we want. It doesn't have to be all perfect. This is just a rough, kind of rustic Persian salad. It's not a big deal. All right, so the next thing we're going to cut up are the tomatoes. Vine-ripened tomatoes are always the best. Same thing, we're just going to dice these up. Just make these into smaller pieces. Now there's so many ways that you can cut something. Sometimes I like to use serrated knives. Sometimes it makes the job work a whole lot easier, especially when you're working with something that's a little bit more delicate like a tomato. All right, we're just going to add these to the bowl as well. All right, so that's we have our tomatoes, we have our cucumbers. We need red onion. I'm going to wipe off my my cutting board, always making sure that we're doing sanitary stuff, right? So we have a red onion. Keep in mind that I've washed all these ingredients to begin with, so it's always great to make sure that we're taking care of that as well, so we don't have to worry about it later. And we also don't have to worry about cross-contamination the whole time. Red onion is one of those items that some people like, some people don't. If you choose not to use the red onion because it's too strong or you just don't like it, you could always use green onion. You could use chives, you could use shallots, you could use sweet onions. Basically any kind of onion that you like to do is fine. Another tip too is, a lot of people don't like onions because they're too strong. If you're going to serve them raw, go ahead and put them in ice cold water and let the water it soaks up all of those oils that are naturally occurring in onions that give it that pungency and kind of mellows it out a little bit. So that helps a lot. We have fresh mint and parsley. And so we're just going to take a little bit of this. We don't need a lot. And cooking is so much fun. You can add or subtract as much as you want to your taste. So I have some fresh mint. There's all sorts of different types of mint that'll give different flavors. This one's just regular spearmint. You can, of course, use lemon mint. There's basil mint. There's all kinds of different things that you can use. So what we're going to do is we're going to mince these up. And this one, again, is kind of, you can mince it as much or as little as you want based on however much you want in your mouth. So I'm just going to kind of push this to the side for now, and I'm going to assemble everything first before we continue. So the calcium component of this dish is feta cheese, low fat or fat free. Feta cheese always comes in a block generally, but you can go to the store and sometimes they have it already crumbled up. It's really, really simple. So now we need to add all these ingredients together and make our salad. I'm going to add a little bit just inside, and then I'm going to put more on top for garnish. We've got our vinaigrette that we made earlier, and I'm just going to put that in there now. And of course, you can always adjust things. If you need more lime or you need more olive oil or you need more pepper, you can always add that too. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper just because I like things peppery. And I'm also going to add some of our herbs that we already have. Now, all we have to do now is toss it together. Now, the longer you can do this ahead of time, the better. But it's fabulous just the way it is. It's ready to go. It's ready to eat right now. Or if you let it sit like 20 minutes and let those flavors develop, put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for 15-20 minutes. It's fantastic. I would probably only do this maybe an hour or two ahead of time. And that's because we don't want all the natural sugars to break down inside the tomatoes and make them mushy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a presentation plate. All right, so we're going to give this one final toss. Man, this is looking good. Nice and fresh. All those vitamins sitting in there. I'm going, my body's going, yeah, baby. This is going to be fantastic. Nice little presentation. Maybe a little extra feta cheese on top. A couple extra herbs. Well, got a little bit on the bowl. We always want to make sure the presentation looks good, right? Because everybody eats with their eyes first. And there we have it. A perfect Persian salad. It's got vibrant vegetables. It's got the calcium from the feta cheese. We've got all the essential nutrients we need for this amazing summertime meal or snack. So what have we learned today? We learned about nutrients and what your body needs to operate properly. We learned how to read a label and make sure that we're getting all the nutrients that we need from the items that we purchase. And we briefly spoke about the different types of cooking methods. And of course, we made that amazing Persian salad. Bright, vibrant, beautiful, tasty Persian salad. It's got the tomatoes, it's got the fresh vegetables, it's got the fresh herbs, it's got the calcium and the protein we need. I'm Chef Philip Dell, teaching the next generations of chefs how to eat healthier and to help others as well.